20,000 years ago, long before cities, machines, or written language, survival depended on strength, instinct, and the will to endure pain. In prehistoric Europe, a small tribe of hunters prepares for one of the most dangerous events of their lives, the final great hunt before winter arrives. At the center of the tribe stands Tao, their leader. He is strong, respected, and feared by enemies and animals alike. By his side is his teenage son, Keeda. Unlike the other young men, Keeda is not driven by violence. He is thoughtful, gentle, and guided more by emotion than instinct. And in a world where weakness can mean death, that makes him different. 1 week before the hunt, the tribe gathers to test the boys who are about to become men. Each teenager must craft his own spear, proving that he has the skill and patience to survive. Many fail. Only 2 succeed, Keeda and his close friend Kappa. Because of this, they are chosen to join the final hunting expedition before winter, an honor that also carries the risk of never returning. As part of the ritual marking their transition into adulthood, the boys are beaten by the older men. The pain is deliberate. It is meant to teach them a lesson that suffering will always walk beside them in life. Later, by the fire, the shaman blesses them, calling upon the spirits of their ancestors to guide their path. That night, Keeda pretends to sleep, but he overhears a quiet conversation between his parents. His mother, Ro, is worried. She believes Keeda is not ready to hunt. She says he leads with his heart instead of his spear, and that the hunt will break him. Tao listens, but he disagrees. He believes Keeda must prove himself, not only to the tribe, but to himself. The next morning, the hunting party prepares to leave. Families say their goodbyes, knowing some may never see each other again. Before Keeda leaves, Ro secretly gives him an extra piece of fur as a protection charm. Tao watches silently, torn between pride and fear. The hunters begin their journey across vast, dangerous lands by following what they call the sacred path. This path was created by their ancestors, marked by stone sculptures and hand paintings carved into rock. Each marking points the way forward, guiding them to the hunting grounds. Along the journey, they encounter another hunting party led by Shi, an old friend of Tao. Shi has recently lost his son, and the pain still weighs heavily on him. The two groups decide to travel together, increasing their strength and chances of survival. As the days pass, Keeda struggles. He fails to start a fire when asked. When the men capture a wild boar, he cannot bring himself to kill it. Each failure deepens his shame. He sees disappointment in his father's eyes, even if Tao never says it out loud. One night, as the hunters sit around the fire eating, they hear a sound behind them. Instantly, everyone jumps to their feet, spears raised. Silence follows. Believing the danger has passed, they relax. That is when the attack happens. A massive cave lion bursts from the darkness and grabs Kappa. The animal drags him away screaming, and before anyone can react, Kappa is gone. The forest falls silent once more. The next morning, the hunters build a cairn of stones to honor Kappa's spirit, believing it will guide him safely to the afterlife. The journey continues, but the loss weighs heavily on everyone, especially Keeda. One evening, they find a large cave to rest in. Tao takes this moment to mark Keeda permanently. He tattoos constellations onto his son's hand, telling him that as long as he can see the stars, he will always find his way home. Days later, they finally locate a massive herd of steppe bison. The hunters prepare carefully. Their plan is to form a wall of spears, driving the animals into a panic and forcing them off a cliff. It is dangerous, but effective. As the stampede begins, most of the bison rush forward, but 3 remain behind. One enormous bull locks eyes with Keeda. Without warning, it charges. The bull smashes into Keeda with its horns, lifting him off the ground. Tao throws his spear and kills the beast, but it is too late. The bison drags Keeda to the edge of the cliff, and Keeda falls into the abyss below. Tao screams and runs to the edge. Far below, he sees Keeda clinging to a narrow ledge. Desperate, Tao tries to climb down, but the other hunters stop him. They tell him it is impossible. Kida is already dead. The hunters collect the bison meat and divide it equally. Xi's group leaves to return home. Tao's group stays one last night, trying to convince their leader to accept the loss. The next morning, Tao builds another cairn for his son. Tears fall as he accepts what he believes is the truth. But many hours after the tribe has left, a vulture lands on the cliffside. It pecks at Kida's body. That pain wakes him. Kida opens his eyes and realizes he is alive. With his broken leg dragging behind him, he tries to climb down the cliff. His strength fails, and he hangs on desperately as a storm rolls in. Rain floods the ground below. Realizing there is no other choice, Kida lets go. He falls into the water and loses consciousness. When he wakes the next morning, the storm has passed. He drinks from a puddle, splints his broken leg, and painfully climbs back to the top of the cliff. There, he finds the cairn his father built for him. Overcome with anger and heartbreak, Kida destroys it. He is alone. And winter is coming. Kida stands alone on the cliff, staring at the broken stones of the cairn his father built for him. The wind cuts through his body, carrying the promise of winter. The tribe is gone. His father believes him dead. And now, with a shattered leg and no supplies, Kida must survive in a world that does not forgive weakness. He begins to move, dragging his injured leg behind him. Every step is agony. Hunger arrives quickly. He eats insects, drinks from any puddle he can find, and sleeps high in trees to avoid predators. Each night, the darkness feels alive, filled with unseen eyes and distant growls. One afternoon, as Kida limps through the forest, he senses movement around him. A pack of wolves emerges from the trees, circling silently. Panic surges through him. He runs for a tree and climbs desperately, but one of the wolves grabs his leg. Acting on instinct, Kida stabs it with his spear and barely escapes into the branches above. The wolves wait below, patient and relentless. Hours pass before they finally leave, except for the injured one. It collapses nearby, whining in pain. Kida prepares to finish it, raising his spear, but his hand trembles. He cannot do it. He tries to ignore the animal, but the sound of its suffering is unbearable. Against every lesson he has been taught, Kida climbs down. He binds the wolf's snout to protect himself, lifts the animal despite his own injury, and carries it to a lake to clean its wound. Hyenas appear nearby, forcing Kida to move again. He carries the wolf until he finds shelter in a cave. That night, man and beast rest uneasily, separated only by fear and exhaustion. The next morning, Kida discovers a mortar near scattered bones and uses it to create a plant salve for his foot. The wolf frees its snout but does not attack. Carefully, Kida shares water with it. After much hesitation, the wolf drinks. Trust begins, fragile and uncertain. Food becomes the next challenge. Worms are not enough. Summoning courage, Kida hunts for the first time on his own. He kills a rabbit with a stone and, for the first time in his life, successfully starts a fire. As the meat cooks, the wolf tries to steal it, but Kida pushes it back, remembering his father's lessons about leadership. He eats first, then feeds the wolf. Days pass. Slowly, the wolf allows Kida closer. He cleans its wound with the fur his mother gave him and shares his food. Winter draws nearer, and Kida knows he must return home soon or die trying. When he leaves the cave, the wolf follows him despite his commands to stay back. Eventually, Kida accepts the animal as his companion. He trains it with whistles, and after several failed attempts, they learn to hunt together. At night, Kida uses the constellation tattoo on his hand to guide them home. The wolf sleeps beside him, sharing warmth. One afternoon by the lake, Kida names the wolf Alpha. Snow begins to fall. Winter has arrived. One evening, a pack of wolves approaches the campfire. Alpha's family has found her. Understanding what it means to be separated from loved ones, Kida urges Alpha to go with them. She does, leaving Kida alone once again. The journey grows harder. Snowstorms slow his progress. One night, Kida dreams of his father returning home to tell his mother that he is dead. The dream breaks him. Days later, Kida spots Alpha again, but the ice beneath his feet shatters. He plunges into freezing water, losing his supplies and his mother's fur. As strength leaves his body, Alpha pulls him out, saving his life. From that moment on, they travel together again. They find an abandoned hut where the owner has frozen to death. Kida takes a bow and arrow but notices Alpha coughing blood. Soon after, Hina stalked them, forcing them into a cave already occupied by a cave lion. Alpha attacks the lion fiercely. Kida steadies himself, focuses, and fires. The arrow kills the lion, but Alpha is badly injured. Through snow and pain, they continue. When Kida sees the markings of the sacred path, hope returns. The northern lights appear, and Kida believes his ancestors are guiding him. Alpha collapses. Refusing to abandon her, Kida lifts the wolf and carries her through the storm. His strength fades. He collapses too. In a dream, he hears his father's voice telling his mother that Kida is stronger than he knows. That belief saves him. Kida rises, carries Alpha again, and finally reaches his tribe. The people stare in disbelief. Tao rushes forward, tears streaming, and embraces his son. He tells Kida how proud he is. The shaman examines Alpha and realizes she is giving birth. Puppies are born safely. The tribe welcomes them as family. Years later, those wolves grow strong and hunt alongside humans. And the bond between man and wolf changes history forever.